Having a clear appreciation of our country's climate agenda, let's look into the holistic context of the impacts of climate change and biodiversity loss, and discover how we might reframe concepts often used in climate change discourse. Let us welcome World Wildlife Fund for Nature Philippines Chairperson, Maria Isabel Garcia.
Good morning, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank Mr. Hansi and Ms. Desi Coson for what I characterized only before the meeting as this is an excellent signal for the rest of the country, a genuine, excellent signal. So I would like to thank you and your team. I would like to thank my team, the WWF team, led by Trin Custodio. Our president is here too, Raymond Rufino, and the rest of the WWF team. Good morning, friends. I want to request you to do something which you have been doing ever since you were born. But this time, be conscious of it. Breathe. Just breathe. You have no choice. But this time, be aware of it. Breathe. I'm sure many of you are familiar with attention to your breath as a mindfulness exercise, but I ask you to do that now for a different reason. I did that because I want us all to recognize at the same time, that what happens when you breathe. We do not manufacture our own oxygen. We take it in from nature. And we take it in from the unledgered work of planktons in the ocean and from the trees. They're unledgered. Breathing makes it breathtakingly clear to whoever doubts it, that no one alive is not connected to nature. I am Maribel Garcia, and I'm the chairperson of WWF Philippines. This role necessarily makes me cultivate a powerful lens to zoom in and out of the many dimensions of the most pressing and defining twin challenges of our time. They are not separate. They are two sides of the same coin: the climate crisis and the biodiversity crash. I'd like to share a view with you that is both crushing and exhilarating. Powerful lenses for powerful people like you. So I am here now on behalf of WWF as a fellow Earthling and a Filipino to ask you to consider to pause. Pause like you have never before. Pause. Just pause. Like any executive has never before. Look at not only what has been brought here, all the PowerPoints, but most especially what is emergent. Pause with an inward scoop of uncomfortable humility to admit our old ways failed. Spectacular fireworks scale failed. Pause so that we can gain new eyes, redraw and align our measures to redeem life's unledgered treasures. Why? Why will we do this? Because we did not live our lives, we marauded it. All of us did. Funders, supporters, designers, makers, consumers, trashers. We were fast and injurious. Now life is threatening to take leave. Proof, you ask? And proof, we say? The WHO says 99% of Earthlings do not take whole breaths. 69% of wildlife populations have been wiped out since just the 70s. There are now more chickens in terms of weight than all other birds combined. By 2050, the blue planet will be 70% built planet. In these 7,640 isle suites we call home are also many islands of contradictions. We're always called the center of marine biodiversity, scientists say, yet the only fish most can regularly eat and see, 2 or 3 if you're lucky. And they say we're one of the 30 mega diverse countries in the world. Diversity in nature means resilience. Diversity means backups, lots of backups. But we cannot even name or find some of the main ones, much less the backups. How many Filipinos know about the Philippine eagle or have seen one? Versus the millions who saw on screens when a baby Philippine eagle was shot dead on home forest. We know more about the Tamarao as a has-been utility vehicle or a basketball team than an endemic ungulate in Mindoro struggling to claim its birthright and stay right. Most of Metro Manila would not even exist had the Pasig River's ebb and flow not formed the delta that it did. But now, majority of our industries dark-line the seams of the once mighty Pasig River. Some have dreams of shape-shifting boats to sift through the river's murk, but they're always met by, that's too big a job to succeed. But I think if you ask the mighty Pasig, it will say, you really don't see it yet. I am too big for you to fail. Corporates did not do this by themselves. It will be disingenuous to single anyone out. We are all complicit in our many roles. But being here, we all acknowledge that we need a new compass for a truer north that gives us not a mere orientation, but also a consequential picture of time's arrow when it lands on our children's lives, our flooded homes, our balding forests, and on our seas, puzzled out in plastic bubble-wrap foam. Chances are, you who are here, all of you, are among the 2/3 of all the CEOs in the Philippines who are on record as having committed to join the move to eco-shift. Yet, only 1/3 of that 2/3 ever report their impact, much less so if their impact matters beyond their corporate borders. Our new genuine measures should not just be from our own company's ambition or peer baselines. It will be absolute mind blindness not to see that we now have more sustainability reports from companies than ever before in the history of humankind, actually accompanying the trend towards an ending in blazing red for country and planet. Boats will rock and heads will spin when red stains corporate FSS. But we have a surplus of silence when out comes nature's bloodied FS. As if we corporates depended on another planet's seas, climate, and forest. Solid proof now exists even from the KPMG that the worst thing that could happen to the world is BAU, business as usual, in the very currencies that business mainly do not find unusual. We claim to own the information revolution and say we have a lot more data than before. Yet, we are stuck on such impoverished ways to define wealth. Even cranky Isaac Newton invented a new math called calculus over 360 years ago to account for change in bodies in motion in time. Despite being masked by encryptions now, a merchant from 500 years back will be astonished to learn we staunchly still define wealth as profit, as a return of what only we humans put in with nature in freeze frame. regardless of what nature performed or stopped doing, just so our version of wealth could stay the same. If someone asks you, how do you measure the value of your year? Do you simply say 525,600 minutes and disappear? Anyone would balk at the whole year of their life measured only in minutes. So why? Why don't we run away, flailing our executive arms, flaking wealth to mean only tradable sums? What if, instead of we valued wealth with sweeps of a clock that move only when we do not breach life's carrying capacities in the spaces we move in, when we make repairable things and build businesses around them, when we create sufficiency and renewability and move on to new creations that will serve our evolving humanity? Marketing departments always bank on human desires being insatiable, but narrowly thinks it just refers to more and more of the same variables. We cannot purely count on fantastic technologies to save us from ourselves. While we continue with old ways of wealth making and wealth counting, it takes 20 to 70 years for any technology to find its place everywhere it matters. All estimates worth their scientific salt say we have less than a decade, or the world becomes increasingly, irreversibly unsurvivable. They are not saying that the planet will merely be demoted from a 4 to 5-star hotel to a 2 to 3-star hotel. They are saying that the Earth brand, as we know it, would have rung its last bell. Why is still the fundamental password to life's puzzles. All the fantastic, riveting buffet of technologies, whats and hows, still need to be carved out and be constantly charged with batteries called why. Our why here is we have nowhere else to go. Everything is connected to everything else. We remembered it together when we consciously took a breath. We have to be all in this realignment together, or none of it would really matter. Because of the hard work necessarily required in this great shift, let us stay away from targets like easy wins or low-lying fruit as they divert you from genuine, lasting gains. Make sure you stay away from any economic or political isms. They have been dark-stained in history. They know no makeover could wash their bitter loads to suit our 21st realities and humane future codes. Find new words and new ways to chart the new enterprise of wealth making that is coded to account for life, not frozen in time, but as it moves and serves. Why brandish wealth whose word origin is health, if we will not acknowledge in nature that nature is what our corpora are plugged into, regardless of era? Despite the illusion of self-propelled planets of greatness that each of our companies engender, all that our companies need then, now, and tomorrow are still fundamentally rooted in what nature is, has, and does. If any of us have illusions that things will just go back to 50 years ago without doing anything drastic, remember that nature now is out of its main groove. It has random agents called anytime. It will fill in the gap in our illusions with plenty of unwatered air, water, and fire. Let us urge each other to persist in this great, necessary overhaul. The window to save us from ourselves is closing in. In the many pockets of Philippine society, we beat ourselves up saying we as a people are incapable of getting our eyes and hands on deck toward the same direction. But the alternative is we give up. But I think the fact that you are here is proof that giving up is not an option, just like not breathing is not an option. Neuroscience can help us with a secret. Time machines are real in us. We are all sauntering on overlapping lifetimes. We can build a wealth of impactful exchanges across ages. Wisdom, W-E-S-D-O-M, is discovering the junctions of the generations. Welcome to what we hope will spawn the Corporate Alliance for Climate Action. New words, new eyes, new strats, new ledgers. The work is all cut out for you, newly defined breed of wealth makers. I was assigned about 15 minutes to deliver a facet to the same fundamental message that all speakers before me and after me have for this Sustainability Forum. While I did this in my current role as WWF Chair, what really qualifies me to have the privilege of this time with you is I'm afraid. I'm really very afraid, like many, if not most of you, of what will happen if we fail to agree to solve this super-duper wicked problem. Wicked problem is something that doesn't only require one discipline to solve, but many disciplines working together to solve, not just science, engineering, and math and business, but also the arts. How can we solve this together? But what made me even dare deliver a message this very strange way without a PowerPoint is my gut feel that despite our palpable collective fear and the enormous work required to change, this bunch right here is not going to give up so easily. You're not, right? That to me is the genuine, compelling mark of the new wealth makers worth their name and place in space-time. Thank you so much to the leaders of the SM Group for carving this space for us, for this chance, for the great shift for corporates. Thank you all. Thank you for all being here. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for being here, for seizing this chance to align and collaborate and build a climate alliance. Counting on you now to be the wealth makers who will finally be a force for nature rather than against it. Thank you.